Following months of tension surrounding the outgoing President Macky Sall's efforts to postpone the election, Senegal made history by electing Basiru Diomaye Faye as the youngest president ever on the continent. This dynamic and forward-thinking leader has promised a new chapter for Senegal, aiming to break free from the remnants of colonial influence and chart a path towards self-reliance, particularly distancing from France, its former colonial ruler. Faye's triumph represents a significant moment not only for Senegal, but also for a generation longing for a fresh perspective that emphasizes self-governance and solidarity throughout Africa. Who exactly is this young leader? How did he ascend to power? And what are his plans to liberate Senegal from external influence? In today's segment, we'll delve into these inquiries and more. But before we begin, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel and enabling notifications for future updates. Who is Basiru Diomaye? Limited information exists about the early life of this captivating Senegalese leader, except for his birth in 1980 in Ndiaganiao, within the Western Imbour department of Senegal. According to Faye's campaign platform, he completed high school in 2000 and pursued a law degree before obtaining a master's from Dakar's Sheikh Anta Diop University. Around 2004, he specialized as a tax inspector while attending Senegal's prestigious National School of Administration, a renowned institution grooming the nation's top civil servants. Faye encountered his mentor, political figure Ousmane Sonko, during his tenure as a tax inspector at the Tax and Estate Department post-graduation. Over the years, their bond strengthened, leading to Faye's invitation to join Sonko's Pastef party when he established it in 2014. Moving swiftly up the ladder, Faye emerged as a key player in Sonko's 2019 presidential bid. However, following Sonko's contentious arrest and subsequent conviction, which many labeled politically motivated, Faye found himself thrust into the forefront of the Pastef party, attempting to rally opposition forces against the entrenched government. Yet, in April of 2023, Faye encountered a similar fate as his mentor, facing arrest and detention on charges widely perceived as politically driven. Come January 2024, while Faye's mentor, Ousmane Sonko, was disqualified from the presidential race, Faye's name remained on the list, despite being held in detention without conviction. Seizing the opportunity, Sonko threw his support behind Faye, rallying over 100 political factions to endorse Bassirou under the banner "Diomaye is Sanko," symbolizing their united front. Both Faye and Sonko were released in mid-March 2024, wasting no time in traversing the nation and garnering significant support ahead of the March 24, 2024 elections. Benefiting from a groundswell of backing from disenchanted young voters, frustrated with issues like unemployment, corruption, and Macky Sall's election delays, Basiru Diomaye Faye secured a resounding victory over the ruling party's candidate, Amadou Ba, clinching approximately 54% of the votes compared to Ba's 37%. After his triumph in the fiercely contested election, Faye promised a new dawn for Senegal, vowing to lead with integrity, transparency, and a firm stance against corruption while rebuilding the nation's institutions. Additionally, he pledged to liberate Senegal from colonial influence, signaling potential shifts in the country's relationship with its former colonial power, France, as anticipated by many experts. The recently inaugurated President Faye emphasized the concept of sovereignty numerous times in his agenda, indicating his firm stance against foreign interference, particularly from France and other Western powers. President Basiru Diomaye Faye aims to achieve this by first reassessing Senegal's international alliances, specifically focusing on its relationship with France, a key trading partner. This reassessment seeks to position Senegal as an equal player on the global platform. Faye is likely to concentrate on revising existing agreements with France, spanning various sectors like mining and hydrocarbons, ensuring they benefit both nations equally. This might entail renegotiating trade terms to secure better prices for Senegal's exports or fostering alliances with a broader spectrum of countries to diversify its economic and diplomatic ties. Faye and his mentor Sonko have long hinted at this shift towards rebalancing, advocating for a departure from France's dominant influence and a move towards partnerships that empower Senegal, emphasizing mutual growth and self-reliance. Moreover, the new president aims to dismantle the remnants of colonialism, particularly France's lingering influence in Senegal. Despite decades of independence, a subtle web of French influence persists, especially through economic and military mechanisms known as Francafrique, which maintains a sphere of influence over former colonies. A central aspect of Francafrique is the CFA franc, a currency shared by 14 ex-French colonies in West and Central Africa, with France holding a significant portion of their foreign reserves. While France guarantees the convertibility of the CFA franc to the euro, critics argue that this system perpetuates dependency and hampers true economic sovereignty. However, this apparent financial security comes with significant drawbacks. These nations are required to deposit a substantial 50% of their foreign exchange reserves in a French bank. This not only hampers their access to vital funds for development, but also benefits France through profits generated from currency printing. Consequently, these countries face limitations in crafting independent monetary policies or adjusting interest rates to stimulate their economies, reflecting in their economic standings. 9 out of 14 nations using the CFA franc are ranked among the world's least developed countries. Additionally, French control extends to military bases established across these former colonies. While officially aimed at providing security and combating terrorism, critics argue these bases discourage investment in domestic militaries, fostering reliance on France for defense. Moreover, some nations reportedly paid France for this so-called protection, further straining their already stretched finances. However, under Faye's leadership, these dynamics are poised to shift. A cornerstone of his campaign was monetary reform, including the potential introduction of a new Senegalese currency to replace the CFA franc. While this proposal has sparked concerns in financial circles, Faye advocates for a cautious approach. He envisions Senegal departing from the CFA franc within the framework of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, possibly adopting the ECO, a unified West African currency in development. The ECO could serve as a foundation for a future Senegalese currency. However, should the ECO project encounter obstacles, Faye asserts Senegal's readiness to assert its sovereignty by potentially breaking away from the CFA franc unilaterally. The decision to pursue economic independence represents a significant leap forward for Senegal, signaling the country's determination to chart its own course free from external constraints. By taking steps to reassess its economic ties with France and potentially introducing a new national currency, Senegal, under Bassirou Faye's leadership, aims to reclaim control over its financial destiny. This move not only demonstrates Senegal's sovereignty, but also sets a precedent for other former French colonies grappling with similar issues. The election of Basiru Faye has injected Senegal with a renewed sense of optimism and possibility. It goes beyond a mere change in leadership. It embodies a collective desire for a fresh start and a future shaped by Senegal's own aspirations and priorities. Faye's commitment to dismantling economic dependencies on France resonates deeply with many Senegalese who yearn for greater autonomy and self-determination. By renegotiating partnerships and exploring alternative economic avenues, Faye seeks to empower Senegal to thrive on its own terms. Moreover, Senegal's peaceful transition of power from a long-standing incumbent to an opposition figure like Faye serves as a beacon of democracy and stability not just for Africa, but for the world at large. It underscores Senegal's commitment to democratic principles and its ability to navigate political changes peacefully. As Senegal embarks on this journey toward economic liberation under Faye's leadership, the global community watches with anticipation. His success in fostering African prosperity free from historical constraints could serve as a model for other nations facing similar challenges. In essence, Faye's presidency represents a pivotal moment in Senegal's history, a moment characterized by hope, determination, and the unwavering belief in a brighter future for the nation and its people. If you found this informative and educational, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.